What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my DraftKings Showdown breakdown for Thursday Night Football's game between the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. God, that's a bad game. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all of our other content goes live. The subscribes are awesome too, by the way. Helps us out a ton. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can get updates to these sim results as we get closer to lock. I will be posting my updates at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, so be sure to pay attention to that. Updates, again, 7 p.m. on my Twitter feed. Look for it. I'll have updates to the sim, projected ownership, all that good stuff. And finally, let me know in the comment section, who do you like at captain and at utility for tonight's slate? Some of the high-level stuff. Average fantasy points in the optimal lineup, 131.2. Median salary used, 49,000. Pricing looks pretty good on DK for the most part. 3.3 Eagles in the average winning lineup. 2.7 Giants. The Eagles, 4.5-point favorites at home against the Giants. 45-point total. Not a ton of scoring. Gonna be a weird one outside of the quarterbacks. I'm a little nervous for it, but it's time to dig in. Now, because of the way that FanDuel's pricing was set up, the quarterbacks ruled the roost at the top end. DraftKings is a little different. Captain spot looks a little different. Carson Wentz is the best option. 17% chance of being the optimal captain. He is the most expensive player, 16-2. But again, 17% of the time he's the optimal captain. That means 83% of the time he is not. Travis Fulgham actually second as of right now, 13-2. Boston Scott third, 11%, 12-6. Boston Scott filling in for Miles Sanders. Really nice spot. He's priced where he should be. On today's slate, on FanDuel, he's priced like he wasn't going to play. So this is a nice benefit here where you don't have to get too crazy going to someone like Boston Scott at the captain. You can go to Daniel Jones or Darius Slayton, both guys north of 10%. Those are the 5 guys that are at 10% or higher. After that, taking a little bit of a salary discount, I think 8,700 for Deshaun Jackson looks okay. 11-1 for Devontae Freeman looks okay. Both of those guys are about 7%. Sterling Shepard, about 5% chance of being the top captain. You can get really weird, go all the way down to Jake Elliott, 5,700. He's only the top captain like 5% of the time, so I wouldn't expect it, but the total's low enough that it's interesting. Ultimately, the large majority of captain ownership should go to Wentz, Jones, Slayton, Fulgham, Boston Scott. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. They're the 5 most expensive guys on the slate. I think if you want to get a little bit different, Devontae Freeman won't have as much ownership as the 7% I'm showing in my sims. But wait until you see those tweets, 7 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, so we can actually compare that to our public ownership. Now, when we head over to the utility spot, things look a little bit different. Top 2 guys are obvious. It's Wentz and Jones. They're both in the optimal 50% of the time in the utility. You're basically picking one or the other, and 25% of the time it's probably both. But you want to make a choice between the 2 quarterbacks. They both look fantastic. Boston Scott, 49% ownership in the utility spot, 8,400. Really difficult to get away from. Same sort of scenario for Devontae Freeman. I have him projected for 13.7 fantasy points. At 7,400, he's in the optimal 45% of the time. So you're probably picking between one of Wentz and Jones. Maybe one of them's in the captain spot, one of Scott or Freeman, or maybe 3 of those 4 guys. I think that's the most likely scenario for starting your lineup. After that, you take a step to the middle of these guys, Slayton and Fulgham, about 35%. The guy that you want to go to, if you want to pay down, $4,800 for Greg Ward. I've been projected for 9.8 fantasy points. He shows up in the optimal lineup 34% of the time. To me, that's my preferred option for saving a little bit of salary. You can go to the kickers like Elliott or Gano, mid-3s in price tag, about a 25% chance of being in the optimal. So, pick a kicker if you think that works. You need to save a bunch of salary. I don't think there's anybody in the hundreds of dollars. The Gallman, Kroom, Watkins, Ratley, Huntley group of guys. John Hightower, $1,200. Look, he's projected for 5 fantasy points. Shows up in the optimal, though, 13% of the time. So if you're playing, let's say, a 20 max contest, I like the idea of getting to John Hightower in like 2 or 3 of your lineups. You don't want to go too crazy, but he's the guy that stands out if you need some salary relief, if you're trying to go to a bigger build with Wentz and Jones and Scott and Freeman or something in that regard. Hightower is the guy that I'm trying to pay down for. Now, if we're talking about fades, and I did this on the FanDuel video, which you could probably click on somewhere here, Evan Ingram was a guy that stood out to me. He stands out here again. We don't have ownership yet. You can't talk about fades until you know public ownership, but I'm assuming I'm going to be right. I don't have any interest in Evan Ingram at the captain spot right now. I don't have a ton of interest in him in the utility spot either. Guys like Boston Scott show up in that spot 50% of the time. Devontae Freeman 45% of the time. Evan Ingram is the meat in that sandwich, and I think that meat is spoiled. 13% chance of being in the optimal utility spot. He's simply overpriced for what you're going to get out of him. Unless he is essentially not owned, I can't imagine having much Evan Ingram tonight. People will probably play Jalen Hurts more than they should. He's 6K. He's not priced like he shouldn't be. I have no interest in going to someone like Jalen Hurts, even if he shows up. I bet he's owned more than he should be. Richard Rodgers doesn't look all that great to me. If I'm picking between the defenses, I would rather go to the Eagles D than the Giants D. That's probably not surprising. I think the Eagles get there almost twice as often as the Giants from an optimal perspective. Other fades that seem okay. Darius Slayton kind of in no man's land. He's 9,200. Jones and Wentz are better options. Fulgham and Boston Scott are better options. Unless Slayton has a major ownership discount, I'll probably be light on him. Now, he's not a zero guy by any means. He's in the optimal a third of the time. But if he's owned, 35% of the time, I'll probably have about a quarter of him in large field GPPs. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. That is my DraftKings Showdown breakdown for tonight's Thursday night football game. I might have said Monday night football earlier. I hope I didn't. If I did, just pretend I said Thursday. Between the Eagles and the Giants. One last time. Please hit the like button. I love it. Please hit the subscribe button. Everyone at Awesemo.com loves it. And hit the notification bell. We all love it because we want you guys to know when our content goes live. We do shows constantly. Why would you want to miss it? Follow me on Twitter. Once again, at Josh Engleman. Engleman. I know some of those letters seem like they should go in different places, but they don't. That is where I will post my updates to my sim results. And again, in the comments section, let me know who you like at captain and at utility. Big things coming in the comment section soon. Keep your eyes peeled for future videos. Might do some giveaways. Could be fun. Good luck tonight. Oh, now I almost said Sunday night football. Good luck tonight on Thursday night football. I'll be back again Sunday night for the Sunday night football showdown breakdown.